The envelope trembled in her hands. Dr. Phil stood frozen mid-sentence, his expression shifting from professional curiosity to something far more grave. The studio lights felt hotter than usual. 200 audience members held their collective breath as the woman's fingers worked at the seal. And then Dr. Phil did something he almost never does. He raised his hand toward the control room, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. "Stop the tape." The cameras didn't stop immediately. For 3 eternal seconds they kept rolling, capturing the moment a 15-year secret began to crack open. The woman looked up at him, tears already forming, and whispered 4 words that would change everything. "I need to confess. How did we get here? What could possibly be inside that envelope? And why would Dr. Phil, a man who has faced thousands of difficult revelations on his stage, need to halt production in the middle of a taping?" If you want to understand what happened next, subscribe now, because what you're about to witness is unlike anything that's ever happened on this show. 3 weeks earlier, the Dr. Phil show received an email that stood out from the hundreds that arrived daily. It was brief, almost cryptic. "I've been living a lie for 15 years. My husband doesn't know. My children don't know. But I can't carry this anymore. I need Dr. Phil's help before it destroys what's left of my family." The message was signed simply, Rachel M. The production team, trained to spot genuine desperation amid the noise of everyday submissions, flagged it immediately. There was something about the tone, the absence of dramatic flourishes, the quiet devastation in those few sentences that felt real. Rachel Morrison was a 38-year-old elementary school teacher from Ohio. On paper, her life looked enviable. Married for 16 years to Tom, a contractor. 2 children, ages 12 and 9. A modest but comfortable home in a safe neighborhood. Active in her church. Well-liked by colleagues. The kind of person you trust with your kids, invite to a barbecue, never suspect of harboring anything darker than an overdue library book. But Rachel had been carrying a weight that was crushing her from the inside out. For 15 years, she had maintained a fiction so complete, so carefully constructed, that even she sometimes forgot where the truth ended and the performance began. And now, sitting in the green room of the Dr. Phil studio, waiting to be called to stage, she clutched a white envelope that contained the evidence of her deception. Her husband Tom sat beside her, confused but supportive. He had been told only that Rachel needed Dr. Phil's help working through some unresolved anxiety. He had no idea what was actually coming. The production assistant gave them the 5-minute warning. Rachel's hands were ice cold. The show opened as it always does, Dr. Phil's confident walk onto the stage, the audience's warm applause, his signature directness cutting straight to the heart of the matter. "Today we're going to talk about secrets," he began, his eyes scanning the audience. "The kind of secrets that don't just hide in the dark, they grow there. They multiply. They take on a life of their own until the person carrying them can barely recognize themselves anymore." Rachel and Tom were brought out to a standing ovation, the kind of supportive greeting that makes guests feel momentarily safe. They sat down on the cream-colored chairs across from Dr. Phil. Tom reached for Rachel's hand. She let him take it, knowing that in a few minutes he might never want to touch her again. Dr. Phil leaned forward, and the studio went completely silent. "Rachel, you reached out to us because you said you've been living a lie for 15 years. That's a long time to carry something. Before we go any further, I want you to know that whatever you're about to say, we're here to help you find a path forward. But we can't help you if we don't know the truth." His voice was firm but not unkind. This was the Dr. Phil that millions trusted, the one who could hold space for the hardest truths without judgment, but also without letting people hide from accountability. Rachel nodded. Her voice came out smaller than she'd expected. "I need to tell my husband something I should have told him a long time ago." Tom's face shifted. The confusion started mixing with something else. Dread, maybe? Or recognition that whatever was coming would be big. Dr. Phil didn't rush her. He knew that the moments before a confession are sometimes as important as the confession itself. "Take your time," he said. "But when you're ready, I need you to be completely honest. Not the version you've been practicing in your head. The real story? Rachel looked at Tom. Then at the audience. Then down at the envelope in her lap. 15 years ago, before Tom and I got married, I told him I had no family. I said my parents died when I was young, that I grew up in foster care, that I had no siblings, no relatives, nobody. Her voice cracked. That was a lie. The audience stirred. Tom's face went pale. Dr. Phil's expression remained steady, but you could see the gears turning. Go on, he said. The truth is, I have a mother. A father. 2 brothers. They're all alive. They live 2 states away. Rachel's tears came faster now. I cut them off when I was 23. I changed my phone number, moved away, and I never looked back. And when I met Tom, I didn't tell him. I let him believe I had no one. Tom pulled his hand away from hers. What? Rachel, what are you talking about? His voice was raw with disbelief. Dr. Phil held up a hand, his tone gentle but commanding. Tom, I know this is hard to hear, but let's let Rachel finish. We'll get to your questions. He turned back to Rachel. Why did you cut your family off? Rachel's composure shattered. Because they were awful. My childhood was. It was bad. Emotional abuse, neglect. My father drank. My mother looked the other way. My brothers learned to survive by tearing me down. When I finally got out, I swore I'd never let them hurt me again. So I erased them. I built a new life. A better life. And I thought I could just leave all of that behind. Off camera, Dr. Phil made a choice no producer expected. Dr. Phil stood up. The audience murmured. This was not part of the plan. Hold on, he said, his voice cutting through the tension. He walked toward the edge of the stage, motioning to one of the producers. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every moment of the unscripted exchange. He spoke quietly, but the microphones picked it up. We need to bring them out now. Not later. Now. Tom looked around, lost. Bring who out? Rachel's eyes went wide. Dr. Phil, please, I'm not ready. Rachel, you came here because you wanted help. You wanted the truth to come out. Well, the truth doesn't wait for you to be ready. His tone was firmer now, the kind of tough love he was known for. Your family is here. In this building. They flew out yesterday. They don't know why. But they're here, and we're going to deal with this right now. The audience gasped. Tom stood up, his face a mix of anger and confusion. Her family is here? What is happening? Dr. Phil turned to face him directly. Tom, I know you feel blindsided. And you have every right to. But we're going to get through this together. Sit down. Trust the process. For a moment, it looked like Tom might walk off the stage. But something in Dr. Phil's presence, that unshakable authority mixed with genuine compassion, made him stay. He sat back down, his jaw clenched. Subscribe and leave a comment, because the most powerful part of this story is still ahead. Rachel was shaking now. Dr. Phil, I can't face them. You don't understand what they did to me. Dr. Phil sat back down, his voice softer now. Rachel, I do understand. And I'm not asking you to forgive them. I'm not asking you to reconcile. But you came here because this secret is eating you alive. And part of healing is facing the things we've been running from. You don't have to do this alone. I'm right here. Tom is right here. And we're going to walk through this together. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. But here's the thing. That envelope in your lap? That's not just a piece of paper. That's 15 years of hiding. And if you want to move forward, you have to let it go. So I'm going to ask you one more time, what's in the envelope? Rachel's hands were trembling so violently she could barely hold it. It's a letter. From my mother. She wrote it 10 years ago. She sent it to an old address, and it was forwarded to me. I've kept it all this time, but I've never opened it. The audience was riveted. Dr. Phil leaned forward. Why not? Because I'm scared. Rachel whispered. I'm scared that if I read it, I'll feel something. And if I feel something, I'll want to reach out. And if I reach out, they'll hurt me again. So I kept it. As proof, maybe. Proof that they existed. Proof that I wasn't crazy for leaving. Dr. Phil's voice was gentle now, almost fatherly. Rachel, you're not crazy. You did what you had to do to survive. But survival and healing are two different things. And you can't heal while you're still carrying that envelope around like a talisman. He gestured toward the wings of the stage. Your family is backstage. They're about to come out here. Before they do, I want you to make a choice. You can open that letter right now, or you can hand it to me and let me read it for you. But one way or another, we're going to face what's inside. Rachel looked at Tom. His face was a mask of pain and confusion, but he nodded. I'm here, he said quietly. Whatever happens, I'm here. She took a shaky breath and slid her finger under the seal of the envelope. But what happened next is something no one in the room, or watching at home, saw coming. The letter was written in shaky handwriting, the kind that comes from age or illness. Rachel unfolded it slowly, her eyes scanning the first few lines. And then she stopped. Her face went from pale to ashen. She looked up at Dr. Phil, her voice barely audible. She's dying. Dr. Phil's expression shifted. What? My mother. This letter, it's not an apology. It's not an explanation. It's a goodbye. Rachel's voice broke completely. She has cancer. She had it when she wrote this. She says she doesn't know how much time she has left, but she wanted me to know that she's sorry. That she failed me. That she wished she'd been stronger. That she loves me. The studio was silent. Even Dr. Phil, who had navigated thousands of difficult moments, seemed momentarily without words. He recovered quickly, his voice thick with emotion. Rachel, when was this letter sent? Rachel looked at the postmark. 10 years ago. The implication hung in the air like smoke. Dr. Phil turned toward the wings of the stage and motioned for the producer. Bring them out. 3 people walked onto the stage, an older woman, frail and leaning on a cane, an older man, his face weathered and uncertain, and 2 men in their 40s who looked like rough-edged versions of Rachel. The family Rachel had erased. Tom stood up instinctively, his protective instincts kicking in despite his confusion. Rachel didn't move. She just stared at them, the letters still clutched in her hand. The older woman, Rachel's mother, stopped a few feet away. Her voice was weak but steady. Rachel. Baby. I'm so sorry. Rachel's face crumpled. 15 years of walls, 15 years of armor, 15 years of pretending she had no past, all of it shattered in an instant. She stood up, her body shaking, and for a moment it looked like she might run. But then Dr. Phil was there, his hand on her shoulder, grounding her. You're okay, he said quietly. You're safe. Nobody's going to hurt you here. Rachel's mother took a tentative step forward. I don't expect you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve it. But I needed you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. What I didn't do. And I'm so sorry. Rachel's father, who had been silent until now, spoke up. His voice was rough with regret. We failed you, Rachel. All of us. And we've had to live with that every day since you left. Dr. Phil stepped between them, his tone measured. This is a lot. For everyone. Rachel, you don't have to make any decisions right now. You don't have to forgive anyone. You don't have to do anything except breathe and let yourself feel what you're feeling. He turned to the family. And all of you, you came here today not knowing what was going to happen. But now you know. Your daughter, your sister, walked away from you because she had to. And that's on you. Not on her. So if you're here to make this about yourselves, you can leave right now. Rachel's mother shook her head, tears streaming down her face. I'm here because I'm dying. And I need her to know that she was right. She was right to leave. She was right to protect herself. And I'm so proud of the life she built without us. The words hung in the air like a benediction. Rachel collapsed into Tom's arms, sobbing. Her mother stood there, hands shaking on her cane, waiting. And then Rachel did something no one expected. She walked over and embraced her mother. Not a full reconciliation. Not forgiveness. Just two broken people acknowledging the truth between them. Dr. Phil stepped back, letting the moment breathe. When he finally spoke, his voice was thick with emotion. This is what healing looks like. It's messy. It's painful. It doesn't fix everything. But it's real. He looked directly into the camera. If you're carrying a secret that's destroying you, if you're running from a past that won't let go, understand this. The truth will set you free. But first, it's going to hurt like hell. Share and subscribe. Make sure this story is never forgotten. The envelope sat on the chair, empty now. Its contents revealed. Its power dissolved. Just a piece of paper that once held 15 years of pain. Rachel picked it up, held it for a moment, and then handed it to Dr. Phil. Keep it, she said quietly. I don't need it anymore. Dr. Phil took the envelope, nodded, and placed it carefully in his jacket pocket. A small gesture. A symbol. The moment a woman stopped running from her past and started walking toward her future.